Good morning and welcome to Bike Racing Without Mercy. I'm just about to head out to the gym, but I thought it'd be helpful to kind of round up as to where I'm currently at and what would need to happen, I think, what would need to happen for me to win a Cat A race on Zwift. Now, prior to my holiday and then in Napa and more recently on the climbs of Alpe d'Huez and in Innsbruck, I've established that my diesel engine is pretty strong, i.e. my ability to kind of grind out efforts at or around threshold for times of 15, 20, 30 minutes or more is pretty decent. However, I'm still not very good at coping with big surges in power. And I think there's an element of fitness, but also mental willpower that's kind of holding me back a little bit. So I think I need to change up my cycling training. And in order to do that, I'm going to stick with Brodie Chapman from Tibco SVB's advice.
But one of my favorite sessions is a 40-20 session. So you're doing 40 seconds at about 130% of your FTP and 20 seconds of just easy pedaling. And then you go again. 40 seconds at 130%. They're VO2 efforts.
However, what I'm going to drop is the 4 times 10 minutes, 3 times 15 minutes, 2 times 20 minutes threshold efforts. Because as I say, my diesel engine's okay. And I'm going to replace that with over and under session where you might ride at kind of, 80 to 85% of your FTP, e.g. 270, 275 watts for me. And then every 2 minutes or so, you intersperse that with a surge of power for 30 seconds at maybe, 360, 370 watts. And in doing so, that enhances your ability to kind of cope with power surges, but also recover at quite a tough power output. And it would also develop a bit of mental resilience, I'm kind of hoping. And the final thing that I intend to do to help me win a climbing race and further improve my power to weight ratio is to shed a little bit more body fat. Because when I was in St. Helena, at St. Helena Fitness, and I undertook the body fat test, I realised that at about 11.5%, there still is a little bit of room for me to drop maybe 1 kilogram or 1.5 kilograms of body fat without compromising athletic performance. Because I know from my bodybuilding days that I can get to around about 10%, maybe 9% body fat without really losing too much in terms of strength in the gym, or at that time it was running ability. So I've got a few little tricks up my sleeve that I hope is going to do just that without too much discomfort. So now it's off to the gym to use the first of my tricks to reduce body fat whilst preserving muscle. And it's strength training called EDT. I don't know what the E stands for, but the D and the T means density training. And it's where you pair 2 exercises, e.g. the bench press and the chin up, but you work with weights equivalent to your 5 rep max, but you only push 2 reps at a time. But the idea is you try and do as many reps as possible of each movement in 15 minutes. And the idea of EDT being that through working with your 5 rep max weights, but only hitting 2 reps rather than the 5, you're stopping well short of failure on each little mini set. And as a result, you maintain good form, but also you recover much quicker. Therefore, over the course of 15 minutes, you're able to fit in much more workload, i.e. more reps and more weight shifted, than you'd otherwise be able to do if you're pushing your full 5 reps each time and having a much longer rest in between. So as a result, you still get the benefits of building strength, but you're working much more, and that requires more energy, and therefore you lose body fat. So for the first pairing, I'm going to put together the military press and the deadlift. And for the military press, I have been hoping to work with 40 kilograms, i.e. my 5 rep max weight, and for the deadlift, I've been hoping to work with 90 kilograms, i.e. the same. However, during the warm-up, I kind of realised that for whatever reason, I'm not feeling up to those weights, certainly not for 15 minutes. Therefore, I've dropped the weight back a bit towards my kind of 7 to 8 rep max weights, with 35 kilograms on the military barbell press and 85 kilograms on the deadlift. And that really isn't a problem, because the objective of EDT is to maximise the workload in the 15 minutes, emphasising good form and nice fast reps. And if I've been working with the heavier weights, there's a big risk that my form and the rep speed would be compromised, and that's not what I'm looking to achieve here. And of course, in the future, I can always, when feeling better, eke the weights up a little bit for progress, or indeed increase the number of reps in the 15 minutes. So 15 minutes, here we go. Eight minutes left, 7 mini sets completed. Twelve sets completed, aiming for at least 2 more. "15 minutes, good strength and cardio workout." So that was 15 mini sets of 2 reps for the military press and deadlift combination, albeit on the 15th mini set I only did 1 rep of deadlift because I thought that if I'd gone for the second rep, the risk of my back flexing was going to be too high, therefore better to cut it short than risk injury. So for the final pairing, I'm going to put together the pull-up and the incline dumbbell bench press. I'm only going to do 10 minutes, but still aiming for 2 reps for each mini set. Here we go, starting a 10-minute timer now. Two minutes to go, 8 sets completed. "18 seconds to go. I'm going to cut it short there. But as you can see again, a good strength and cardio workout. Now for the 40-20s on the bike. So you'll notice there that I selected exercises to work the shoulders, chest, back and legs, i.e. it was an all body workout rather than my usual upper body, lower body split. And that's because when you're looking to encourage an adaptation, sometimes it's good to change things up and surprise the body a little bit because it gets used to doing the same combinations of exercises, whether they're strength training or cardiovascular. And you'll also notice that all of those exercises were compound movements, i.e. movements that work multiple muscles at the same time. And that's because the compound movements are your go-to exercise in terms of building strength and muscle, but also encouraging fat loss. And that's because the compound exercises require the most energy to complete them and therefore burn the most body fat. So I'm looking to complete 3 sets of 5 sprints at 40 seconds. And I've just completed the warm-up on the Yorkshire course, where you do 4 sprints for 10 seconds at 5 to 600 watts, and then a 5-minute effort at 310. Now I've had to manipulate upwards my FTP setting in Zwift to get to my desired sprint setting, which is 375 watts for each 40-second sprint. So I know that's going to be quite a big challenge. We're now 4 seconds away from the first 375-second sprint. ERG is on. There's always a bit of a lag for the power to come up, but then the power to go back down. And as always, the first few sprints will feel nice, but the heart rate will come up quite quickly.
Now I'm looking to reduce the rest period between each sprint, each set of 5 sprints, from 5 minutes to 3 minutes, which is in line with Brody Chapman's advice. And that's 1 of 5, and the lag and power coming down. Now the first set of 5, they're giving me 30 seconds rest. I'll report back in a bit. Okay, even with 30 seconds recovery between each sprint, those 5 sprints at 375 were horrible. The extra 10 watts over and above when I last did this session make a big difference. So I am going to take the full 5 minutes of recovery between the next set. 20 seconds until the start of the third set of 5 at 40. The mood is certainly a lot less jolly than at the beginning of this. The level of concern is very high, but I do think I've got it. Time to steel myself. Here we go. Now, much more focus on the breathing here. Very hard, struggling here. Heart rate 178. One last push. Here we go. Halfway. Wow, emotional. Gotta keep spinning. Heading to one down. I'll report back. Yeah, that was a good challenge. Right on my limit, I think. Heart rate still 165. Peaked at about 180. Very glad I took the 5 minutes recovery between each of the sets. And I think that 5 minutes at 310 really added to the fatigue as well. And the idea being, by pairing these anaerobic efforts with the strength work in the gym, you're pairing light with light. Hi, the gym is anaerobic with some cardiovascular, and these 40-20s are anaerobic with a lot of cardiovascular. And the gym primes the nervous system such that when you get on the bike, your body's ready to go and hit these efforts hard. So that would have burnt quite a lot of calories all in all, doing that fasted, or just a low fat, low carb protein shake and caffeine. And these anaerobic efforts and the gym work will keep the body burning fat long after the training session's ended. As ever, none of this is advice. You do whatever it is that you want to do, but whoever you are and whatever you do, please remember to live, thrive and subscribe.